Good morning. This is retired Pastor Karl Schmidt from Calvary Lutheran. Oh, it's going to be interesting. Calvary Lutheran Church, little Lutheran church in Amherst, New York. Welcome you this morning to our broadcast for this. This is the Trinity 13th Sunday in the season of Trinity, and September 3rd, 2023. The text appointed for this morning in the old series is from the Gospel of Luke, the 10th chapter, verses 23 to 37. That's the Gospel of Luke, the 10th chapter, verses 23 to 37. And we're going to be focusing on the last verse 37, frankly. Now, let me just read it to you here. Verse 23. And he turned unto him his disciples and said privately, Blessed are the eyes which see the things that you see. For I tell you that many prophets and kings have desired to see the things which you see and have not seen them, and to hear the things that you hear and have not heard them. And behold, a certain lawyer stood up and tempted him, saying, Master, what shall I do to inherit eternal life? And he said unto him, Well, what's written in the law? How do you read? And he answered, saying, You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, and all your mind, and your neighbor as yourself. And he said unto him, You have answered right. Go do this, and you'll live. But he, willing to justify himself, said unto Jesus, And who is my neighbor? And Jesus answering said, A certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho, and fell among thieves, which stripped him of his raiment, and wounded him, and departed, leaving him half dead. And by chance there came down a certain priest that way, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. And likewise a Levite, when he was at the place, came and looked on him, and passed by on the other side. But a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion on him, and went to him, and bound up his wounds, pouring in oil and wine, and set him on his own beast, and brought him to an inn, and took care of him. And on the next day, when he left, he took out 2 pence, and gave him to the innkeeper, and said to him, Take care of him, and whatever else you spend more, when I come again, I'll repay you. Now, which of these 3 do you think was neighbor unto him that fell among the thieves? And he said, He that showed mercy on him. Then said Jesus unto him, Go, and do thou likewise. Here ends that portion of the gospel text from the Gospel of St. Luke, the 10th chapter, verses 23 to 37. Now, if anything, this gospel text shows Jesus' sense of humor, because this lawyer came to him. That means not like lawyer like we have today, not these kind of lawyers. This means a master of the text, of the Old Testament Hebrew text, someone who sat in the temple and daily debated with the elders and discussed the nuances and meanings of the Hebrew text. And he also handled matters of law, but you got to remember that law was the text. So a little different than what we have today, which is a secular government. So he wanted to find out what Jesus was about. So he asked him a question, but frankly, this is a really stupid question. I mean, they say there are no stupid questions. I beg to disagree. There are plenty of stupid questions, especially when you mean it to be stupid. And I can't possibly imagine that this smart fella imagined for a moment that this was a smart question. He asked this because he was a smart aleck. And he just thought he was going to trip up Jesus, and this would be a short discussion. But Jesus heard the question that he asked him, Master, what shall I do to inherit eternal life? Now, like they say today, way wrong question. Well, that is literally way wrong question. Because the answer is nothing. Nothing. You are not eligible to even ask that question. Not only is the answer nothing, you got to back way up on this one and just recognize first that who are you to be asking that question? Because, do you happen to personally know this being called God? Do you happen to really know what it is about you and I that have got him so angry and fired up that the only remedy, and I mean the only remedy, because I'm not the one asking, however, Jesus was, and 3 times he asked his dad, hey, look, if there's any other way to fix this mess, I'd like to go with plan B now. And he's praying in the garden just before he went to crucifixion. And Dad's answer was firm. No, this is it. This is the only solution. This is the only remedy to the mess that's on that planet Earth. And it is a mess. The only solution is that you, my only begotten Son, born of Mary, born to be true man, and as you are, true God, that you go down there and die in their place. You die in their stead. You die in place of them, in other words. And hey, look, when that's the only remedy, when that's the only thing that's going to fix the situation, I guarantee you we are not smart enough by measures to ask the question, what shall I do to inherit eternal life? That's like an ant crawling up to Albert Einstein and going, could you explain that chalkboard to me? I'd like to understand that whole idea of quantum mathematics. I don't quite get it. Yeah, well, you're never going to get it. You're an ant. Ants don't understand advanced mathematics. And we, I guarantee you, do not understand what we are before this being we call God. Because if the only remedy to fix what's messed up with us is that he sacrificed his Son in our place, well, then frankly, I don't want to know what's wrong with us. It's got to be so horrible that we would just melt if he actually went and told us. And then for all these self-appointed geniuses who go around and tell everyone what sin is, oh, that's a hoot and holler. That is hilarious. That is the funniest doggone thing I've ever heard. Well, your sin is worse. You're a different kind of sinner than I am. Really? Idiot? Boy, you're dumb. You're so dumb, I don't know where to start on dumb. You redefine the word dumb. Because if you think that you alone did not need Jesus to die for you, that was in your case by itself, that you're so special, you're so different, you're so good, that you can handle things on your own? When the boss himself looked down on this planet and said, there's not one. There is not a single one anywhere, ever, that is good. They're all rotten, filthy, disgusting. Every single one of them wandered off and hates me. They're useless and disgusting. Now, you think you stand outside of that? Well, I don't have words for you. I don't have any way to help you. You are, well, I tell you what, I just like to be there on Judgment Day because I'd like to hear this one. This is going to be fun. This is going to be like, say what? What? No. Really? You? But you're scum. But I went around and told gay people that they're wretched and useless and God doesn't want them. And I told people that have had an abortion, you're going to hell. And I stand up for everything right, so I'm good. Yeah, I'm on your side. Can you imagine? When God just stops giggling? When God just says, "Oh, you're serious." Oh, well, boy, are you stupid. Yeah, because in spite of what we like to do in categorizing sin, it's the one who thinks he's better is the one who's actually most wretched. Because this is the one that rejects God's own words that says you are too wretched to help yourselves. You are lost. and only I can fix this mess. So when that lawyer said, what shall I do? Get it? Right there, I. What shall I do? Not only is the answer nothing, it's like, hey, idiot, you do not have the right to ask that question, and it, yes, is a stupid question. Now, I'm going to give him the credit, the what they call that, the benefit of the doubt, and guess that he knew better. He had to know better. If he was a lawyer and actually that stupid, well, someone hand him a shovel and a rake and send him down the stalls where the donkeys are, so he can clean up the hay and the mess on the floor in the stall, because that's all he's qualified for. That is, in fact, probably too complicated for this person. I am sure he will fall down, slip in it, and end up coated in it, because this person is too dumb to even handle donkey manure. Yeah, so this is where we see God's sense of humor, because he actually carries on a conversation with this fool and tells a story, and in this little story, he picks someone I'm sure this man looks down on, the Samaritan, kind of a half-breed among the Jews, although they consider themselves Jewish, and yet the other Jew, well, it's a long story. But in spite of that, I'm sure this man looked down on him, and Jesus, of course, knows that, and he builds this little story, and that the only one who did anything kind happened to be the one that he despised. And he just couldn't even bring himself to say he was a Samaritan. He just said, well, the one that showed mercy. That was as best as he could do. It's as far as he's going to go. He's just stone cold idiot. And Jesus, this last bit is the funniest part of all. Then Jesus said to him, go and do thou likewise. You see, if you go to a filthy water puddle that's, I don't know, in the donkey stall, in the back corner where all the hay and the donkey poop are stacked up, and you want a good drink of cold water, well, that is not the place to go find it. Just like he is not the man to do any good works and anything worthwhile. Nothing. Let me put it another way. Among human beings, apart from Jesus, there has not been a single good work that stands before the judgment of God as righteous on our own without him ever. Not in the history of human beings. Not once. Ever. So God devised a plan, and his plan was, I'll take care of it, because they can't. They can't do anything. All they can do is doom, destruction. It is going to end badly in every single case unless I step in and do something. And so he did. He stepped in and did something. What did he do? He sent his son Jesus to die on the cross. Now, how does that fix it? Well, I don't know. I said before, I don't know what the malady was. I don't know what sin actually is. I don't know. I haven't talked to him about it because, I don't know. He's the Almighty. He's the boss. So how then would I understand the remedy if I don't actually understand the malady? This is also addressed to all those folks out there who think that they, above all, have the correct understanding of the gospel. I'll tell you what, you don't. Just because you think that, you automatically got it wrong. The gospel is called the mystery, mysterion in Greek. The mystery of the gospel, and it is and remains that. And there is none of us that have a handle on it and can say, we understand it. I don't begin to understand. How does the Son of God being born of Mary and growing up amongst us and not having any sin of his own, and yet his Father reckons him to be sin for us all? In other words, he's in the crack house and he's the worst of us all because he bears the sin of every single one. How does that work? I don't know. I don't honestly have a clue. And anyone who says it does, lying to you. That's it. They're lying to you. The gospel is a mystery that God would show such kindness and generosity to to a planet where there's no one that deserves any help at all. That's what this is all about. That's why Jesus looked at this man who tried to prop himself up as something special, and just was. What do you say to that? What do you say when God says, I'll fix it for you? And you go, oh, that's okay. No, never you mind. You must be busy. You're the Almighty. I'll fix it. I'll go ahead and fix it because, I'm special. I said God has a sense of humor. He actually talked to this idiot. That's what's funny about it. Go and do thou likewise. Like this guy could even do, or understand, or desire to do anything kind and merciful to anyone, because he never saw himself in mercy or the need of kindness. Okay, well, this has been retired Pastor Karl at Calvary Lutheran Church, Calvary Lutheran Church. I'm just filling in there till whatever the boss does next. I don't know. But here we are. So, anyways, hope you have a good day. Hope you don't get sick with anything. And there's more than COVID out there these days, And so stay healthy if you can. All right. Bye-bye.